Hello, Ramy Boujawdeh. Do I pronounce it well?
Perfectly.
You are the awesome. You are the deputy managing director of Berytech. Berytech is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, incubator slash co-working slash ecosystem builder in Beirut and Lebanon as a whole. You have 3 buildings, 850 people hosted in your, accommodated by you, and one of your buildings has been blasted by the explosions, the explosion 1 month ago. So we know Lebanon is going through a lot of harsh situation and things, but there is a lot of hope. And maybe can you first introduce yourself and introduce us to Berytech?
Sure. So as you mentioned, Jean-Yves, I'm Ramy Boujawdeh, Deputy General Manager of Berytech, and I've been with Berytech for the last 6 years almost. Very excited to be part of a team that is growing. When I joined, we were about 12 team members, and now we're closer to 60. We manage 3 incubators in Beirut, a number of local programs focused on entrepreneurship and innovation in the space of technology, engineering, and science, with a number of verticals focused on agri-food innovation, clean technologies as wastewater and energy, and social scalable entrepreneurship. For sure, the ICT sector and technology is a horizontal, so it covers all of them. And we have, tech startups that are mainly tech focused, but these are the verticals where we're building expertise. And we operate from 3 sites that you mentioned. All of them are around the greater Beirut area, where a bigger population of Lebanon lives. We also are part of a number of, regional programs funded by the EU or UN programs or international donors. And we're leading a regional innovation hub out of the MENA region focusing on sustainable agriculture.
Okay.
That's in brief what we do.
Awesome. So yes, you were explaining to me that part of the structure is an NGO. You are backed by 3 VCs as well, international VCs, and also that. But the co-working activity, basically, which is made of co-working for freelancers and companies, but also with some regular office, was also an important revenue driver for you. That so you are active in this industry nowadays. So
yes.
How is the industry going now that you are going through all the troubles that a lot of our countries are going through, meaning COVID, economic crisis, but you also have, of course, this terrible explosion that happened a while ago. So we're telling me that your activity is not slowing down, but it's shifting. Can you elaborate on that?
100%. So yeah, Jean-Yves, things are changing drastically in Lebanon. I think since October 17th, where we had our, a bit of a revolt on what's happening in Lebanon. Lebanon has passed through a major change. So we're passing through an economical downturn, a fiscal lockdown, COVID, like everybody around the world. But we also, had that big blast that happened in Beirut in August, and things are just going, out of whack. But Lebanese have tended to be resilient, and we try to work around, challenging. And as you know, entrepreneurs tend to find solutions and not only the problems. And with that, we've tried to accommodate a lot of our community through different things. So we've seen some of the entrepreneurs who used to be in larger offices and their businesses were affected. They moved down to co-working space. We've seen many of the employees who used to work in the space of technology, design, architecture, that could offer their services as freelancers to the world have jumped in. And I think this is a growing trend, and probably we'll talk about it in a bit. And in Lebanon, we still have issues with electricity. So a lot of the electricity is not a common 24-hour service. So there are backup generators and so on. The internet is not necessarily the fastest in different areas and affected by electricity cut. So what we provide at Berytech is what we call a worry-free space, where people can just come, work, and focus and deliver. Yeah. And the space is also used by a lot of our program beneficiaries, so the entrepreneurs that are working on an idea or a program or wherever, they use the space to network, focus, and deliver what they need to deliver.
Yeah, because that's something we are not necessarily aware in Europe or elsewhere, that power shortages are common in Lebanon, and the connection, and I read some report that's about the 4G coverage and the mobile connection and internet. You need some support, or your own private network to some extent, and you are providing with that all those players, which, as you said, it's very nice way to say it, sort of worry-free area. And also what you were explaining to me is that, so of course you have been dealing with all the set of programs for entrepreneurs and startups, and with some focus, as you mentioned, with agriculture and clean tech. But now you were saying that in the last weeks or maybe months, it was about more resilient program. That's very interesting, because it means that, yes, you are the focus is shifting to something maybe more urgent, of maybe looking for faster deliverance of results. Can you elaborate about that, and how
Sure.
you remember experiencing it?
Sure. So as I mentioned, with the economic downturn, Johnny, things are changing. You know, some of the tech businesses that were focused locally on local businesses with the slowdown had to reshift. Some of their employees had to leave their jobs. And we look at the world, and there's a big pickup on some of the technology platforms and services that have not been there. So we've seen a boom in the e-commerce business. We've seen a lot of cloud services for businesses that have shifted on the cloud to connect with their employees. A lot of the conference businesses. And also worldwide, we've seen companies that in particular businesses trying to shift their workforce to maybe a more cost-effective workforce at the international level. And Lebanese tend to be competitive and provide quality service. So we've seen an increase in freelancing services to the world from Lebanon taking place on those platforms. Now, on the program side, we're seeing a shift in the type of entrepreneurs that are joining our programs, and they are looking at the challenges that we're living at in Lebanon and the developing sector, especially when we're talking about water, agriculture, waste, social. So a lot of the entrepreneurs that we are seeing in our programs lately are very driven by a social cause, a need to make a difference, and their focus is focusing on creating, frugal solutions, frugal innovation, business models that could really make an impact on people in rural communities, in poverty zones, in accessing different services and solutions to make their life better. And this is, this is very energizing for the people we work with, and the team that I have at Berytech. That they are driven by a mission, they're driven by making a difference.
Yeah, that's what. Of course, there is, as you mentioned, you have a co-working services, and you can host the teams, but they need to apply to be accepted, because you want the people to interact, and there is a purpose in being a member of Berytech.
Sure. So Berytech is a people who want to join Berytech have to either be part of a program or have the right profile to join Berytech. Because we care about having that community in the co-working spaces and facilities we have. We want the entrepreneurs to play a role as a mentor, as a coach, as a big brother, and see how they can connect and share resources. We've seen a lot of collaboration happening within our space, people providing services to others, people connecting to different clients that they could help with, people opening markets to others. So that community, culture in our co-working space is highly valuable, and we are keen on keeping it like this.
I don't know if it's certainly a very hard question, but how important is the Berytech community and all this dynamic that you are part of in Lebanon? How important is it to modernize the society in Lebanon and modernize the services and create new economical value through the impact you might have? Because also, sometimes we say, okay, it might be just for the happy few and the freelancers who are qualified enough to work as a consultant for US company. But is it the situation, or do you see really that you managed to claim that you brought that change in that maybe very specific market or area or village? What's your vision on that?
If you notice, my screen got a bit darker. We lost electricity, and now the generator will kick in. But luckily, the internet is on a UPS, so it will not cut. How important? Just here.
It's back.
So yeah, it is very important for us. You know, it's very important for us to make a difference. Berytech's mission from the day one it was built is to retain brain drain. We lose a lot of our educated youth to the world. They end up migrating to developing countries and other places to offer their services, and the country suffers from the lack of not having them. So for us, it is crucial to retain those people. It's crucial to open for them opportunities. It's crucial to support them to make what they need to make a difference for them, for their future, and for others that they will employ.
Okay, and we speak more and more about co-working space and co-working communities going to the remote areas. Okay, Lebanon is not big country. You have some very nice mountains, but could it be part of your upcoming plans to open up new locations more in the countryside, or due to also to the fact that people look for reduce their commuting, and so is it relevant in Lebanon, that kind of questions? Or
it is even though Lebanon is quite a small country, but even if you look at larger communities, that when you have the city, you still have the regional areas that need always support, and Lebanon have suffered heavily from the lack of decentralized services. A lot of it is focused around the big cities, and lately we are currently implementing a program with UNICEF to support their innovation hubs or innovation services across the country. So there's about 50 centers from the top north of Lebanon all the way to the south of Lebanon and the east and the west. And we are providing them, technical assistance to help their, community centers to offer services like co-working space, but a co-working space with a mission, again, to be able to create it not only for a desk and an internet connection, but also as a place where people could, connect, share visions, exchange feedback, open their opinions, and work through a live space. Because a co-working space, if it's just a desk and a keyboard and a chair, it's not co-working. Co-working is working together. It's so co-creation, community, co-works for a lot of interesting things. And I think this is what we're planning to do. So yes, regional and rural and remote areas are very important. And this is where we lose a lot of our youth as well, because they don't find opportunities in this space. And with the digital technologies, the digital programs, people can find jobs. And we're very proud. We have a number of programs through that UNICEF program and through others where a lot of those youth are given, digital marketing skills. They're giving, coding skills. They're given different things that where, even working for a Lebanese company, you don't need to be in Beirut to provide the service. You can just log in to your computer and code or tag or do whatever is needed to provide the services that is requested. And yes, remote working could definitely be done in those co-working spaces across the country.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ramy, for the great discussion and giving us a window to what is happening right now in Lebanon. And we send all our support and our best wishes. And of course, we collaborate. And I guess everybody can reach out to you. And it's Berytech, the website. We can
Berytech.org, yes.
Berytech.org. And for anyone who want to be involved with the great Lebanese professionals in any field of innovation, please reach out to Ramy and his team. I guess there is a lot of things that can be done. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Jean-Yves.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure.
Bye-bye.